history of bad ideas.
Hello and welcome to episode number 7 of the History of Bad Ideas podcast. I am your co-host, Jason Brigger.
And I'm your co-host, Jeff Now.
And that is now 3 episodes in a row. I have not screwed up the intro, so put another star on the little chalkboard for me.
Hey, we're getting better, and pretty soon it might actually be quality programming.
We have general free domain music, though, now, so how about that?
Yes. The music intro, and if you're lucky, you might hear a little more music for starting of segments.
Not all, but some, because we're not that fancy. So, how are you doing tonight, Jeff?
Oh, getting by.
Okay. Well, got a couple things we wanted to get out of the way first here. Wanted to say a thank you to Green Up Podcast. We talked about them a little bit last week. They do Xbox reviews. They're more Xbox and video game centered podcasts, but they also do some movie reviews. They do some trailer reviews, and a couple of good guys down there. So they've been promoting us on Twitter because we're at Bad Ideas Podcast on Twitter. And so take a look at them. They're on Facebook and Twitter as well. And we're on Facebook as well at the History of Bad Ideas podcast. So if you're on there, like our page and follow us on Twitter. But just wanted to say thank you to Green Up guys for always, tweeting back at us. And I would say they're a friend of the show now.
Yeah, they can officially be put as friend of show.
I think we're up to 3.
Sweet.
3 friends of the show, along with the Worst Bad Movie podcast. And then another thing is that we've talked about before, and we're also friends with them on Twitter as well. And it's the Cincinnati Comic Con, which is coming September 5th through the 7th. I know it's still early, but I think next week is when they're releasing who's coming to the actual convention.
All right, so they're going to be dropping some information on us.
So they're more about comic books. It's not so much media in terms of TV and film stars, but it's more centered on the artists, the writers of the comic books. And if you're listening to this, you're probably a big fan of comic books or that genre. So take a look at them. I know we're in Cincinnati and they're in Cincinnati, but it's well worth the trip to come out here, especially for you people in California. I see you listening.
Yes, come on out. Enjoy the beautiful banks of the Ohio River.
Or Kentucky. Because I think it's in Kentucky.
Well, it's technically Kentucky, but it's on the banks of the Ohio River.
True. And then wanted to get into listener feedback.
Oh, all right, listeners, for throwing some suggestions for things to discuss on the pod waves.
First thing is number 1 fan of the show, Doug.
Yeah, Doug's got his list.
Every week he's got his list, and we appreciate it, better or worse. He was giving Jeff a little hell on his Facebook page about Josie and the Pussycats. He wanted to know more about it, and he thought that we were the number 1 podcast for Josie and the Pussycats. And I think we'll be proud to say that.
I'll be pretty proud to say that. I mean, I think we should probably just include hashtag Josie and the Pussycats in some of our
tweets.
Twitter tweets. Thank you. We need to hashtag Josie so the Josie fans know where to find podcast talk on Josie.
And by Josie fans, you mean Tara Reid. That's about it. Can you make a sequel? I'm still up for it. Me and my alleged deformed boobs.
All right.
He also asked, he did have a couple good questions, though. He said, in any media, do you prefer Batman with or without Robin? So that's comic books, TV shows, movies, whatever. Your thoughts?
I personally, if it's the right Robin, prefer him with Robin. The wrong Robin would be like Chris O'Donnell version of Robin. That kind of ruined the run of movies there with Joel Schumacher helming and not knowing what to do. And
what about the Marlon Wayans Robin?
I do not know Marlon Wayans.
You didn't know that?
Robin.
In Batman Returns with Penguin and Catwoman, Marlon Wayans was actually hired to be Robin. And he talks about it in a couple of different interviews.
Okay.
And they took him out. And I guess they thought it was too crowded with Max Schreck and, Catwoman, Penguin. The whole running for mayor, Pee Wee Herman's in it,
Yeah.
But they did. He was cast for it, and he said, I don't quote me on it, but I think he said he was paid like $1 million, and it was the best money he's ever been paid because he didn't do anything. They fitted him for a costume, but they never used him.
I'm not necessarily opposed, except for the fact I like Robin. Robin needs to be a younger boy, not a full-grown man.
Correct.
I mean, Chris O'Donnell at 26 or however old he was when he started was just way too old. It's supposed to be 13-year-old boy starting training or whatnot, and I don't want to get into any dirty type thinking about the man and the young boy, because I mean I know everybody jokes about that with Batman and Robin, but
damn 1950s. the End of Innocence or whatever that book was. I think it was End of Innocence or something. It was a psychiatrist or psychologist wrote it, and that started the downfall of comic books in that era. And it might be the End of Innocence. It was something like that. I personally, I'm a huge Batman fan, as if you've listened to the show before, and he's my favorite character. I think Robin, in certain circumstances, I think Timothy Drake was a great Robin. Dick Grayson was a good Robin. I liked it better when Dick Grayson became Nightwing. I like that he went off and did his own thing.
Yeah, I like that a lot better, that he outgrew Robin and went on to other things. I mean, Chris O'Donnell technically is Nightwinged age, and he's playing Robin, so...
And I think it fits better in comic books, Robin, than it does in the movies.
Well, yeah, you can actually draw a young kid as opposed to have to find an actor, and then if you're trying to do a series of films, he's already too old by the time you get to the third movie.
And I just think it translates better, too. Not even the age aspect, which is a big thing. I think in the comic books it looks okay. He's taking him under his wing. Because when you're reading comic books, you're putting away realism. I mean, they're trying to make them more realistic and all that. I get that. But at the same time, it's a fantasy world. And I'm not saying the comic book movies aren't. I get that. But you're seeing it's more visual, interactive.
Yeah. And in the comics, you have time, within a story arc to develop the characters. In a movie, you've pretty much got 90 minutes to 2 hours to tell a story. So a lot of the subtleties of a mentor relationship are going to get lost.
Correct. You got about 15 minutes to tell that backstory for Robin.
Yeah, and otherwise that's all it's going to be, is us telling the backstory, and then the movie's over, and everybody wants to see the action and the punching.
New fan of the show. I know he's followed us, I guess, but he actually responded on Facebook this week. Chris asked what your favorite Kevin Smith movie was.
Yeah, I saw him ask that, so I had to think about it, and obviously I like most of the Kevin Smith movies I've seen. It comes down to, the original Clerks I really love, because that's how it started. That's where you get the taste of it. But I think I would have to go with Dogma as my favorite. Because growing up Catholic, and you just see things that, always bothered me maybe about the religion or whatever, are kind of addressed. And, and he doesn't do it in an insulting way.
Correct. Because Kevin Smith grew up Catholic.
Yes. I think he even still claims to be.
Catholic?
Yes.
I think he claims to be half Canadian. Is that religion?
I don't think that quite falls as a religion.
Oh, okay. What's that old boot? So you're going Dogma?
I'm going Dogma.
That's a tough one for me. Clerks, I loved. Like everybody says. Clerks 2, I was waiting to hate it, and I loved it.
Yeah, I agree.
When they're singing ABC by the Jackson 5 and Rosario Dawson is dancing, that is quite possibly one of my favorite scenes in all of cinema. And I'm saying that granted, it's not a cinematic masterpiece like, Rosebud. It's Rosebud. But it is one of my favorite scenes ever to watch. It makes you in a good mood. And then when Kevin Smith as Silent Bob has his pigtails coming out and dancing. So those two are great. I think the edge, though, goes to Chasing Amy. And because when I saw that, we had no idea what that was about. Obviously, we saw Clerks and Mallrats, and then Chasing Amy came out. And from beginning to end, I could not believe what I was watching, listening to. It was very well written. Kevin Smith did a hell of a job with it. One of my favorite lines is, "What's a Nubian?"
That was a great line.
But everybody had good points in it. Everybody had a good story arc in it.
Yeah. I really like Chasing Amy, and it showed he was growing up a little as a storyteller. The biggest problem I think I had with Chasing Amy was the final resolution, that the Ben Affleck character comes up with on how the three of them can make everything right if they just had a threesome together or whatnot. And I was like, logic doesn't fit that.
Basically, Ben Affleck is a comic book artist and writer, isn't he? I believe so. And he's
I think he's the writer and
artist, because
Jason Lee was the inker or
tracer. And they're best friends, live together, and Ben Affleck starts dating Joey Lauren Adams. Where have you gone? And she's a lesbian, and then she switches, and it's this big love story, and basically they get over it. Ben Affleck can't believe all this experience that Joey Lauren Adams has had sexually, and there's tension between Jason Lee, Ben Affleck, Joey Lauren Adams, and the final resolution is Ben Affleck sitting them down saying, we have to have a threesome to get rid of this tension. And Joey Lauren Adams is like, I've done it before, and that's what caused some of the rift.
Yeah.
And she's like, you don't want this.
Yeah. And she's like, I've done it, I've experienced it, and it's not what I want, and if you love me, you won't push this any farther.
But one of my favorite lines is Jason Lee. Okay, this is it. Here's your spoiler alert for the whole fucking show. We are spoiling anything that we talk about, possibly. Okay? And this is what, 15-year-old movie, 20-year-old? I think it's okay. Statute of limitations is up. In the Crying Game, she was a he. There's the other spoiler. But anyways, Jason Lee says, fine, I'll do it. And Joey Lauren Adams says no. And all you hear is Jason Lee go, thank Christ. So that is my favorite movie. That might be in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. So there you go, Chris. Thanks for doing that. Let's see here. Trying to think if we got any other ones. Doug was also upset about us bashing Keanu Reeves. And then he goes on to say that The Replacements was the only movie he has seen.
Yeah, it's like, okay. And I know you like The Replacements.
I love The Replacements.
I think you overrate The Replacements. But
I got a couple good friends out there that would agree with me.
Oh, I know. I've talked to them before. It's an amusing movie at best, in my opinion.
I don't like Hitman with Timothy Olyphant as much as people think I do. I do like The Replacements, though. And then I think the one thing is...
Doug also asked, what other TV show should NBC revive? Manimal or Misfits of Science?
Can you explain to me what Misfits of Science was?
It was about teenagers who, I suppose, through whatever goofy science experiments, got some powers.
Okay.
I think it was a young Courtney Cox, I think, was in that. Oh. That was like maybe one of the first things she did after dancing with Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, which they brought up on Cougar Town last year or 2 years ago.
That was funny.
I would bring back Manimal because it is so out there that, like we talked about last week, NBC doesn't really have much. They could put Manimal on with Blacklist, Hannibal, which I've seen 2 episodes of Hannibal. Good show, but there's only so much time in the day, people. And then Community and Parks and Rec. Community. So I'm going Manimal.
You're going to... other than, I suppose you can't get a young Courtney Cox to come back. I mean, this was from 85, so that was 30 years ago.
Misfits of Science?
Misfits of Science. So, if Courtney Cox can age backwards another 30 years.
Instead of aging forward 30 years. I did, speaking of NBC, Green Up did have a comment for us. They had an idea on their show. They think that you and I should get together before Heroes Reborn comes out in 2015 and watch every season and then podcast about it.
Wow.
I explained to him on Twitter that there was not enough alcohol for me to sit through seasons 3 and 4. Because there's 5 seasons, right?
Or
4 seasons.
4 seasons.
Okay, not enough alcohol for season 3 alone.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I know I've got the first 3 seasons on DVD.
I'm sure you could find it for about $5. Yeah, but season 4.
I'm trying to think if they ever even released season 4 because it crashed so bad. I think they were afraid they were going to lose money just printing discs.
They will be releasing it next year when Heroes Reborn comes out.
Oh, that's true.
That is interesting.
So does he want us to sit down, go episode by episode, so we'll watch one episode and talk about that one on a podcast?
I don't think I could do that. There is no way in hell.
Every week we just watch one new episode.
And then report back to it maybe on our regular podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. I really couldn't. We'll try to think of something for Heroes Reborn. And then, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, we did have Nick, best color man in the business.
Thank you, Nick.
He did ask, and then we'll get on to the news of the geek after this. What villain deserves their own movie? And that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Way to be, Nick.
And I'm thinking we're probably going to hit mainly for comic book villains, because that's what we usually think of when we think of villains.
Well, because the Boba Fett movie's coming.
Oh.
Whether they admit it or not, it's coming.
Oh, yeah, it should be coming. But is Boba Fett a villain?
I don't know. And
I did air quotes when I said villain.
Yes, you did. For those that can't see, which is everyone except me and Jeff. I don't know. I mean, I think, everybody's talking Loki's probably going to have his own.
Oh, I'm sure everybody wants to. I've known people, friends on Twitter that are just Loki fanatics that really want Loki to they just want Loki to be in a 2-hour movie with nobody else. They just want him walking around.
And I'm not questioning Tom Hiddleston's acting ability because he's amazing in it. Do you really want to see a Loki movie, though? A full Loki?
He is great as that head villain, but yeah, if you're watching his every move, when he pops up, and I think it would ruin the scenes that he's in when he's in every scene.
Correct.
So I don't know if I want to necessarily see a Loki one. I mean, I know they talked about in the past doing like an X-Men Origins Magneto.
Yeah, but
they pretty much covered everything in the X-Men movies.
Yeah, and I just really rather not.
I mean, I think it could be good because there is a lot of backstory that they've put there. And that's one reason why I had listed him as my number one villain when we did that list, is they have a lot of backstory already written. And he's a villain with a backstory, not, I'm Thor's brother, so I'm the bad guy.
I would like to see Sinestro from Green Lantern. He has a hell of a backstory.
You're right.
And Jeff Johns, his beautiful, beautiful Green Lantern series that he did for 10 years.
Yeah.
Start to finish, it was beautiful. He had Blackest Night.
Yeah.
There were so many. Reborn. I mean, he just did everything.
He pretty much did from Reborn to the first 2 story arcs under the New 52 that they did.
Yeah, he the new Lantern, or was it the First Lantern? Wrath of the First Lantern.
Yeah.
Which was okay, but he ended the series, well, not the series, sorry. He ended his run by showing what happens to all the Lanterns, all the major Lanterns. John Stewart, Sinestro, Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, who's the dickhead one?
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner. Which you don't see in comic books because they always leave it open-ended because,
because it's like, well, we might kill them off before they can get that ending he wrote.
And he gave them all he gave you a glimpse into the future of how it ended. But then he said, "This is my story. Whoever comes along next to do the writing, they could diverge from this, Yeah. Obviously, John Stewart may not be a senator or whatever it was. And I actually gave up the Green Lantern books after his run because it wasn't that the new writer and artist, I can't remember who his name was, what their names were. It wasn't bad, but I felt completed. That was my completion of the Green Lantern run for a while. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never had somebody just finish a series.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to the Sinestro. He has such a backstory. He's got his daughter in there. I mean, his planet's killed. Not his planet's killed, but a lot of people are.
I mean, honestly, it would be a pretty good movie, especially if in his mind he's the hero of everything, and I think that's really also what makes a great villain. So, he's out thinking he's going to be saving his race and his planet when everyone else looks at it, he's enslaving them. I mean, I like it, and especially if you can show it from his point of view and even make it look like he's the hero, even though you might not agree with what he's doing. You can understand his thought process behind it.
And the greatest thing about Jeff Johns' run on it was the ending. Hal Jordan looks at Sinestro, and in comic books, they've been back and forth at each other for decades in writing that. But in the one of the final scenes is they've been teaming up to help each other, and Hal Jordan goes, "Have we ever really been friends?" And Sinestro responds, "That's the sad part. We've always been friends." Yeah. And oh my God, that was awesome. Yeah. I mean, at that point, it's like, Jesus, man.
It's like we've been at each other's throat. We've practically killed each other and
many times over.
Yeah. And it's like, and the whole time, we're friends. I mean, we're doing this knowing and respecting each other.
So I would do Sinestro. I think that would be my favorite. I think that would be well done.
I think I can agree with you. So we'll say, out of everything out there, we'll say villain doing a movie will be Sinestro. And now for another installment of News of the Geek.
See, I told you we're getting fancy. We got theme music. We got everything. What more do you need?
We need someone to write specific music for us, so we don't have to use the public domain.
No. I like the public domain.
And there's a need for public domain, but I want to actually, make money ooff of our music. People like our music so much they'll want to use it and pay us.
That's fine. The technology has been a bitch already for some of the episodes. I'm happy with what we have right now.
I'm happy something's working.
In
so
public domain, go. First thing up is the Academy Awards are this Sunday.
Yes, we are recording this the Saturday night, so the Academy Awards will be popping out tomorrow.
Jeff, you got any favorite Oscar moments?
Oscar moments of all time? Well, I'm trying to think. Within the shows, I enjoy watching them, but I can't think anything stands out. Except maybe, when I won the Oscar poll and
at a party.
Yeah. Oscar party. I think your brother had one year.
I think he did.
He had a couple of years.
He had a couple.
I think one time I won. So
yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
Another year, I think somebody cheated to win. We never saw their sheet.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, we went on the honor system of grading. I don't know how that happened.
That was the first year. After that didn't happen.
After that, it's like everyone's grading someone else's sheet.
There is no way you got sound editing right, okay? That is not correct.
Come on, I always get sound editing right.
Sorry, okay, best foreign film. Don't tell me you did. I really don't have a favorite Oscar moment. I do like watching the Oscars, and it's a kind of like a car wreck. You're watching a car wreck because at one point you're like, how egotistical are these people out there? And then the other part is like, well, like movies. I love movies. I love TV. Obviously, it's not TV, but it's the same thing. And I like certain actors and actresses. Yeah. I enjoy watching it. This year is the first year ever I've not seen any of the Best Picture films.
I haven't seen any either. There's 9 of them out there, and I haven't seen any of them.
I would love to see Gravity, and it just life came up this year, and that I just did not get a chance. Outside of comic book movies, I did not go to the theater for much, except for a couple kids' cartoons.
Yeah, and none of them were nominated. So
I would put Frozen up there.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's a shoo-in for Best Animated.
Correct. Thinking about it, and I've talked about it before in the last couple of podcasts, I loved Frozen. I thought it was very well done. We talked about the ending and everything with the sisters, but the first time I saw it, I thought, okay. Or the only time I saw it, left the theater with my son. I thought, okay, it was a good film. And then the way I process movies is it takes days for me to just keep thinking about them if I really love them. And I loved that movie after I thought about it for about a week. It just came up at certain times, and it's like, you know what? I would put that in the Best Pictures of this year.
Okay. With this year, I'm not sure what I'm looking forward to. Last year, it was, what's his name was the host?
Oh, shit.
From...
Billy Crystal.
No.
Yes, he was.
No, it was what's his name from Family Guy and
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane.
That's right.
And everyone was all people can't take being made fun of. Like
Correct.
All these Hollywood stars have fragile egos, and I honestly really enjoyed the way he handled it. I mean, there were a couple missteps, but there were a couple of really good ones.
Well, it's like when Ricky Gervais did the Golden Globes.
Oh, yeah.
And he just ripped into everybody.
Oh, and everyone,
hated him,
but they still had him back the next year because it was the highest rated Golden Globes they ever had, I think.
And again, if you can't get made fun for 10 seconds, I think outside of George Clooney, because he seems like he's, likes it. Matt Damon. He looked like it. Ben Affleck. He should. He made Paycheck. He did Reindeer Games.
He was the bomb in Phantoms.
He was the bomb in Phantoms. But outside of few, I think it's because it's kind of like athletes. They get yes to them their whole lives. Not so much, Hollywood stars, but, once they hit a certain tier, everybody says yes to them and kisses their ass.
Yeah.
And then you have one person make fun of them. It's like, what? What's wrong with that? That was my Scooby-Doo. So, like I said, I enjoy the Oscars. I like them for what they are.
Yeah. Actually, I think I just thought of a moment from the Oscars that I always liked, but apparently was ridiculed as to this day, I think.
Rob Lowe and Snow White?
No, that should have been ridiculed. That was awful. Oprah, Uma. When David Letterman hosted. He did that, and I was like almost on the floor laughing because I found it funny. And like the audience was like, yay, I don't get it.
Letterman was not a great host, though.
No, overall it wasn't good, but that Oprah part I found hilarious.
And he had stupid pet tricks on, for God's sake. It was his, which you gotta wonder is like, does he realize, screw it, this is I'm only going to do this once anyways, let's just fucking throw everything out there? Or is it just like, I don't know what I'm doing? I'm hoping Gravity wins. And the only reason is because it's a sci-fi film. You don't see many sci-fi films win.
No, that's true.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'm trying to think. That's about it. I really have no dogs in this battle.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen them, so I can't judge. But
I'm rooting for Frozen for best animated.
I don't think you even need to root. I think everything I'm reading, that's a lock. I'm going to vote for that in my Oscar brackets.
Is Pixar's Monsters University up this year?
No, that one did not make it.
That shouldn't make it.
Okay, that wasn't good.
It was okay.
I think I said they were a little surprised when they came out and that one wasn't up there. I can't even remember what else is nominated, but Monsters University was. I think might be the first Pixar movie that was not nominated since they added that category.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to say Cars 2 came before that.
Oh, was that nominated?
It better not have been.
Oh, okay.
It's gotten better on the 100th viewing I've seen of it because of my son. It's better, but I like Cars. I like the original Cars.
Yeah, the original Cars. I haven't seen Cars 2. Can't judge.
It was the Mater show. It was the Mater show.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your Academy Awards wrap up. We haven't seen the movies. We really don't care. We're going to watch. And the title of this episode is Oscar recap.
Something Oscars.
Yes. Next thing is the second Godzilla trailer was released this week. Did you see it?
I did not.
It was on our Facebook page. How did you not see it?
I honestly, I saw him like, oh, Jason's pushing Godzilla again.
Yes.
That's
it is
what
beautiful.
I thought. I skipped over it.
Go see it. And God damn it. I want to fucking talk about Godzilla. Well, you know what? Hello, listener. Let me talk to you. Godzilla looks beautiful. Bryan Cranston's in it, so that gives my ears a perk right there, along with many other things. But, you know, it looks beautiful. Go see the trailer. Go watch it. My thought is, because Jeff hasn't seen it, so he can go screw himself right now. Go take another beer. Take another sip.
I'll take a drink. You should have told me we were going to talk about it. I show up tonight and I see Godzilla. I'm like, oh, I didn't see the trailer. It's going to be mad.
It's on the Geek of the News outline.
I didn't get the outline until 10 minutes before we started.
You know, I didn't finish it until 20 minutes before we started. That's what newborns will do. But anyways, my thing is, I think, and I've said this before, like episode 2 or so, not 3, because no one's listened to 3. I don't know why. I think it's Nick's fault. Go back and listen to 3, people. Download it.
He is the best color man in the business.
Thank you. He was well prepared.
Better than us.
That's right. But anyways, they show it, and they show Godzilla in the city, this Rex, New York City, or actually San Francisco, my bad. It's not Matthew Broderick movie. Yeah. My thought is, he's not the bad guy. He doesn't destroy it because you see wings flapping. They're talking about airplanes falling out of the sky. He wasn't doing that. He's not in there. If you go back to the old Godzilla movies, I think it was Mothra that did the wings flapping in the air. I'm making this look of wings flapping with my arms right now.
Yes, Mothra was the flying ones with the flapping wings.
And so I think Mothra's in it. I think there's they said a centipede-like thing or like a crab thing. And if you look at the previews there, it does look like a crab leg coming down. So I think that those guys came out, the monsters came out, and they brought Godzilla back out. I think that's what happened.
Is Gamora in it?
If you go online, they've everybody online has done these little screenshots and broke it down. Yeah. Like the one scene, like you think it's Godzilla in the water with his not fins, but with the scales on the back. and it's different than if he looks later on. So that's why they're thinking there's, and
So they're thinking it's Godzuki?
maybe Mechagodzilla.
Mecha Streisand?
Streisand vision. Thank you, South Park. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to it a lot. I really do think Godzilla's the hero in it, and so there you go. So, well, fuck you, Jeff. I was all excited about it. I was ready to go off on it.
Well, maybe episode 8. I'll have seen it by then.
Thank you, listeners, for indulging me here. Next thing is, speaking with monsters, rumors of Jurassic World are taking shape right now. And if you go online, I know IGN had some stuff. comicbookmovie.com had some stuff. It stars Chris Pratt, which is always we love him on this show.
Oh, yeah, we must talk about Chris Pratt.
That's right. He's about as good as John Noble. And let's see, you got Bryce Dallas Howard is in it, who hasn't done much since, what was that? What was the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie? Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Well, she did Spider-Man 3.
That's a rough call.
Yeah.
I guess I'm taking The Village. Maybe.
As the good one?
Was she in what's the egotistical one that M. Night did? The Water Lily Fairy?
Oh, the Lady in the Water?
Lady in the Water. Was she in that? Was she the fairy?
I think she might have been, now that you're talking about it.
Oh, God, that was an awful film. And I loved M. Night. I even gave him a pass on The Village.
Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard was in Lady in the Water.
But anyway, so the rumors of what's taking place in Jurassic World, which comes out in May 2015, is the one leak script on, and if you go online, you can see it in a lot of different places. It takes place in the first island from Jurassic Park. Okay. It's 20 years later. It's kind of a reboot, but they're not ignoring what happened. And it looks like it's Hammond's granddaughter or somebody, I don't know, somewhere along the line, maybe sister, who knows, is running like a SeaWorld type theme park with dinosaurs. Like they're all docile now. They figured out how to calm them down. I'm thinking with sedatives or something like that.
Okay.
And then they brought this new monster, this new dinosaur back. They won't say what it is online. They haven't said it on anybody that's been working on it, but they said that's the one that causes all the outbreak at this place because it's been a thriving amusement park, and they bring this new dinosaur in and he just tears shit up. So, and I love Jurassic Park. I love the third one. I know it wasn't good, but the second one I did not like.
Oh, the second one was awful.
Because not only did Tyrannosaurus Rex get out of his holding cell on the boat, kill everybody, and then he came back into the holding cell and it closed.
They figured out how to confuse and trap
Sure they
him.
did. Sure they did. And he only ate a dog in San Diego.
That's the only thing he destroyed in San Diego?
He ate a dog. I think he destroyed other things.
Yeah, but I thought he was knocking the city. I mean, that would look more like Godzilla than Matthew Broderick's Godzilla.
What has Hank Azaria? So, are you a Jurassic Park fan?
Never really was. I saw the first movie, and it was okay. I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't go crazy over it. Obviously it brought in a new era of, effects and CGI. So for that point alone, it was good. But overall, I think the story had more flaws than not. And then, like I said, when it got into the second one, the third one was better than the second, but I think it was Téa Leoni's character.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to smack the hell out of her repeatedly. And it's tough when, I'm cheering for the dinosaurs to kill her so the movie can get good.
Kind of like Sound of Music, the Nazis.
I was not cheering for the Nazis.
In Sound of Music, the only movie I ever cheer for the Nazis in. God, I hate that movie.
Wow.
I love everything dinosaurs. I really do. There is... If you go online, there's a video game that's supposed to come out for the Xbox when the Xbox originally came out. I'm talking the original Xbox. It was called BC, and it's by Peter. He's the guy that did Fable and all the Fable movies or video games.
Oh,
sorry,
the video games.
Yeah,
okay.
Video games. Sorry, and it was called BC. It was a video game. You started as a caveman, and you built a tribe. And there's all these dinosaurs. You go to these different worlds. Basically,
So it's based on true events.
Yes. And if you go online, they canceled it. They announced they were making a sequel. They got 50% of the way through the first one, and then they canceled it. So you announce the sequel, and then we cancel both of them.
Wow.
There is video footage or video game footage online, and I watched it. I was like, oh my god, this would be perfect. You can destroy the dinosaurs, like a species of dinosaurs that would screw up the rest of the ecosystem.
Oh, okay.
And that is the game. I seriously, every 6 months, or give or take, I will go back and watch the videos online for this. And it's like, oh, it could have been. So anything dinosaurs, I'm in for. So, and it has Chris Pratt, so we'll see.
Well, yeah, Chris Pratt will make everything better.
That's right. So that opens in May 2015. And finally, in the news of the geek this week, Variety is reporting that Adam Driver from HBO's Girls is about to sign on as the big bad guy in Star Wars Episode 7. So, do you watch Girls?
Never seen an episode of Girls.
We got both box sets. My
Yeah.
wife is a big fan.
Yeah, I know you've told me before that you actually liked the show, but I'm hearing more bad things than good things about the show. So
You either love it or you despise it. And I love it. My wife loves it. I think she got season 2 for Christmas. I think we were done in 2 days. And
Okay.
now, granted, it's only half-hour episodes. It's a little bit different. Adam Driver is good in it. He kind of plays an asshole. He is an asshole in it, but he has redeeming qualities at points. In one episode, he was having sex with a woman, and he finished on her chest, and they showed the remnants of it. And I
wow.
thought,
Well, it is HBO.
and I looked at my wife. I said, "Did we just put a porn in? Did I miss something here?" So that was a little shocking.
Actually, Jay, he only sneezed.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because how do you know when you're done if you're sneezing? Anyways, moving on. So the one idea is that he could be the Emperor clone, a clone of the Emperor.
Okay. Yeah, I know they wrote that in one of the books that took place after the original series.
I think he's a good. And he's imposing enough because I think he's 6'2", 6'3", something around there. He's a big guy, and I don't know about his acting because he feels in Girls he's a good actor, but it kind of feels like typical everybody a regular person you meet on the street, which I guess maybe that does reflect on his good acting ability. But like I said, he's supposed to be the signing on any day now as the big bad guy. So there you go. Any thoughts on Star Wars Episode 7?
I just hear so much stuff coming out. I think I'm going to wait to make my decision on how it's going to be based on whatever. I just pulled up the IMDb on Episode 7 to see what they have. Of course, everybody is rumored to be in it because nothing's there. But yeah,
It's easier to say who isn't in it.
well, I mean, they pretty much just have Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Billy D. Williams, Anthony Daniels, and Adam Driver.
Billy D. Williams?
Well, you have to have Lando back.
I'm okay with that, but I did not know.
I'd honestly rather have Lando back than
Han Solo?
Han Solo, Leia,
I agree.
and Luke. I mean,
I'm okay with Luke taking over as a Jedi at the Jedi Academy.
I wouldn't mind if it took place after they all were killed off or something.
I wouldn't mind taking place in the RPG video games that Star Wars used to do back thousands of years ago when their Jedi and the Sith were running all over the world or the galaxies, killing each other.
Yeah.
I would be fine with that. I'm okay with going for a new generation too.
Yeah, I would be fine with that.
I
mean, I know I've heard rumors that Benedict Cumberbatch was being talks to be in that.
He would make a pretty badass Jedi.
I'm trying to remember what they were rumoring he was signing on for. I think there was a specific, not necessarily a role, but a type, and I can't even remember what they said. But, I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of Benedict Cumberbatch, so if he's on, I'm on. But
Sherlock. He's awesome in that.
He's awesome in Sherlock. If you haven't watched Sherlock, go watch Sherlock.
I got episode 3 up on DVR right now.
But the problem with Benedict Cumberbatch in another J.J. Abrams, he was in Star Trek. Now he's going to be in Star Wars, and I think they're blurring the lines a little too much. I think the lines that are being blurred on the Star Trek side. I mean, they're making Star Trek less than what it really was, just because they need to fit in more action, because people want to see Star Wars when the word "star" is included. And
Would you not lose your shit if in Star Wars you just see in the background Spock walk by with his thing, yo, and he just keeps on walking. They never mention it. He's just in the background.
that
Have a
would be
good day.
hilarious. Except Star Wars is a history because it took place a long
That
time
is true.
ago.
As Jeff Cation last week on one of the episodes, minisode or the other one.
It
I'm
was
not
the
sure.
minisode.
Okay.
But Star Wars took place a long time ago. So in the future, obviously Star Trek, they actually throw out what dates they're supposed to be. So it's a little. I don't think they can overlap characters that well.
No.
But then again, with Star Trek, there's always time travel. So
That is true.
so they can go
And
back.
E.T. was in the
the race of ETs.
the race of E.T.s. That's right.
Not the exact
And
ET.
Revenge of the Sith? Was it the third one?
I can't remember. I know it was a council meeting.
Yeah.
They were,
I'll be
in
honest, they
there.
kind of all blurred together.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time taking the prequels as, Kanan or
Canon.
Kanan.
How much beer have you had?
Not enough, apparently.
The drinks of the
Canon.
week, as they are every week. Jeff's got his beer. I got my vodka and cola. So it's a beautiful night. But anyways, with the Star Wars prequels, though, like I think I talked about this before, Disney basically is showing that. Are you leaving? Are you picking up your keys? Are you out?
The keys have the bottle opener.
Jeff left. He's done.
We just discussed I need another one, so I'll get another one.
Could you bring Sylvester Stallone in as a guest host then? He was in here last episode. I can change and you can change.
all change.
God, you're awful at that.
I can't do Stallone. And really lazy.
Jesus Christ.
I just deafened him.
I think you deafed everyone. You made everyone deaf on that's listening to it. I don't even know where we're going after this. Okay, let's move on.
So, Star Wars.
There you go. Box office bomb news.
I just dropped my beer.
Okay, we're back now.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had to take a quick step away after I spilled my beer on the floor of the Bob Studios. So hopefully it didn't. Our break here didn't affect you at all, since it should have been instantaneous.
That's right.
Due to editing.
Anyways, moving on. Box office bomb news. And I think we gotta change the name because I think it should just be box office news because, talk about the latest movies that come out and everything.
So we can actually talk about things that did good.
I'm pretty cynical by nature. I don't know if I can handle that, but we'll see. We'll see. First thing is RoboCop has made $44 million on a budget of $100 million. That's domestically.
Yay.
So thank God for that. There was no reason to remake this. I'm sorry. There just wasn't.
Well, and that weekend that RoboCop opened, there were 3 movies that opened that weekend that were remakes of 80s movies.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Jesus.
RoboCop, About Last Night, and
Oh, God, yeah.
Endless Love. There was a remake of Endless Love.
Jesus. About Last Night. Okay, so that was a remake.
Oh, yeah, it was a remake, the Rob Lowe, Demi Moore movie.
And who was his Rob Lowe's buddy in it?
Jim Belushi?
Yeah.
Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi.
And,
Well, you could do James Belushi, but he would just been Weekend at Bernie's like.
oh, you mean John.
Whatever.
James is Jim.
Have you seen Jim Belushi act? It's pretty close to Weekend at Bernie's. So, and I did see RoboCop on TV a couple weeks ago, the original. And my God, Peter Weller, no offense to him, and it wasn't his fault, but the design of RoboCop was the boxiest robot. It was like Wall-E had a gun, and that was about it.
That's an 80s robot. Come
Yes,
on.
that's right. And it was not a good film to start with. Next one is Winter's Tale. Has made $11 million on a budget of $60 million. Thank God, because that looked awful.
Well, see, I saw the ads for it. Is that based on the Shakespeare play of the same name?
I don't know. It's based on a book, and it was
Okay.
it was a recent book. It wasn't the Shakespeare book.
Okay.
Now, the book that it may have taken from the Shakespeare play.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never read it, but it was on New York Times bestseller and everything else. And it bombed. And truthfully, anything Russell Crowe's in, I'm all for bombing. I cannot stand Russell Crowe as an actor.
So you're not looking forward to Noah?
No, but did you see the studios? are putting, I don't know if it's on every copy, but are putting a, not warning, but a little side note in the beginning saying that, they did take some, liberties with the story, and it's not completely factual from the Bible.
Well, because the Bible is completely factual.
Which, wrap your head around that. I don't care how devout you are, to a religion. You don't know what happened thousands of years ago. If you take it at face value, say this happened.
Well,
I'm just going with it. Go with it.
I'm trying not. I'm not going to let religion.
Don't get religion. But I'm just talking from. Say you believe straight up, word for word, that Noah's Ark happened. Well, of course it's not straight movie for the movie's not completely exact because you don't know what happened.
It's like, okay, he did this and he did that. Well, he did something in between. He said he built an ark. I mean, they're showing him build an ark.
Unless there was a screenplay along with the Bible that they found. But yeah, there was a religious group that wanted them to put a warning at the beginning, and they did, an advisory.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm like, oh, dear God, really? This is what you're fighting for?
And he built the ark, 30 cubits. 1 cubit, 2 cubit. That would make for a boring movie.
That would be. Still better than the Steve Carell movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Almighty one. Not Bruce Almighty. Evan Almighty. That was awful. And yes, I know we use the word awful a lot, but,
Yeah, it's going to be our trademark.
Yes. Along with my Peter Brady voice. And then the only thing... things that are opening up this weekend is Son of God.
Yeah,
Speaking of religion.
Speaking of religious movies.
And there was I think there was some ministers that were upset because, what was it? Jesus looked too pretty in it.
Okay.
Like, oh dear God, we're fighting this now?
Now, too pretty as in Jesus wasn't a handsome man, or too pretty as in he's so pretty he looks like he might be gay pretty?
I don't know. I think it's he's a handsome man.
Because Jesus can't be a handsome man?
Well,
I mean, if they want to get up in arms, they should be upset that they cast a white person as Jesus.
No, we're not going there. And then finally, the other one that opens is Nonstop, the Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Jodie Foster one that...
Oh, Flight Plan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it's because everything on a plane.
That reminds me of snakes on a plane.
I get these motherfucking snakes.
Get these monkey-loving snakes off this Monday to Friday plane.
That's the TBS version of Snakes on a Plane. Did you see the previews for Nonstop?
I did.
Do you like it?
I'm not going to go see it in the theater, but, I'm hoping it's good. I mean, Liam Neeson, people go see him in his action movies now. I mean, since Taken, he's gotten a following.
The guy's 60-something years old, and he's an action star.
Why not?
Who would have thought that?
And, I mean, he's the 60-year-old action star that is too good for the Expendables.
That's true. That is true. So there you go. There's your box office news. Not much opening this week. That is your new theme music for the John Noble News.
John Noble News.
He's a god. John Noble News of the week. He's never won an Oscar.
All right, Oscar tidbits for John Noble.
I told you it's an Oscar recap week. Or Oscar prequel. I don't even know.
But it's Oscar week for John Noble.
You see that? We got three theme songs. Still looking on something for the top 5, but, we'll get to that sometime.
Maybe.
You got any hidden gems this week?
I do have a hidden gem I'd like to throw out there.
Okay.
I want to give props to, Comfort Love and Adam Withers. They're a husband and wife team that creates self-published comic books.
Okay.
They do. I think they currently have 2 things out that they publish. You can get them online, or you can send away for them. I'm not sure if they're in shops or not, but they do titles The Uniques and Rainbow in the Dark.
Were these the writers and artists that were at the Cincy Comic Con last year?
Yes.
Okay.
I met them at the Cincy Comic Con last year, and
their art was beautiful.
Their art was beautiful. They are incredibly nice people. They had a couple of panels that they were running, and I was volunteering down there and helping them out there. So I kind of was helping them out with their panels and talked to them for a little bit, and decided to check out their books, and I really like what they've got going. I know they offer for digital download for the first episode of each of their things is free. So, they want you to free chance, hook you to get you in. And then if you enjoy what you like, you can get them and buy the other episodes if you do digital downloads for, I think it's 99 cents an issue. So they're self-publishing, and
which is actually cheaper than DC and Marvel digiwill downloads.
Well, probably.
No, I'm saying that's a good deal. I'm with you on that.
Oh yeah, it's a great deal, and I will throw up a link to some of their sites online or whatever on our Facebook page, History of Bad Ideas podcast on Facebook, and I just want to throw out some props to them. Hopefully, they'll be back again this year at Cincy Comic Con, and I can talk to them again.
The Hoax Hunters were there last year, too. The guys that write Hoax Hunters. Yes. And I got 2 of their books, graphic novels, and I got through the first one. Really, I liked it a lot. But I got so many freaking comic books I'm trying to get through that. The second one I'm going to get done. I promise. But
all right, you throwing Hoax Hunters out as a thumbs up for a hidden gem?
I love Hoax Hunters. Yeah, I'll give them props for that. I think they're based in Chicago. But that was not my hidden gem. Hidden gem this week is Outbreak for PlayStation 4. Just came out. If you subscribe to the PlayStation Network, it's a free game. It's $20 otherwise, $19.99. But if you subscribe online, it's free, which is great. PlayStation, as long as you're an online subscriber, they give you 1 free game a month on PlayStation 4 forever, for as long as you're online, which is nice.
Now, is this a paid subscription?
Yes, it's $50 a year.
Okay.
But at Christmas time, because I got PlayStation 4 on day of launch, and you get a free 30-day trial, and then day after Thanksgiving, I actually got the whole online membership for $30, I think, for the whole year.
Oh, all right.
So there's good deal. I mean, it's good deals. $30, I have no problem paying.
Yeah, especially if a game you really like that you would have paid $20 for anyway.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the one that Don't Starve came out on. That was free. That I was talking about a couple weeks ago. Still can't get past day 3. Anyway,
you still starve.
So that just means I'm not a camper. And God damn that game. So, like I said, we have a newborn at the house, and in the last 2.5 weeks I was off work when she was born, I seriously played PlayStation a total of maybe an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm slacking. I'm slacking here.
Life will get in the way of your video games.
So I played Outbreak, and you basically are a journalist that gets a tip that this insane asylum, shocking, is doing experiments. Typical storyline. What makes it scary as all hell is it's first person. You don't shoot really anything. At least you haven't. I haven't yet. I'm not that far into, but you have a camcorder, and you film it, and that's your night vision. You have to replace batteries. You get notes. You get documents. You're a journalist.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing. I just imagine. And I fumbled replacing batteries. Now I'm digging around the ground looking for my battery. Well, this is a great game.
Here's the problem. It scared the shit out of me. And my God, I'm playing this, and I'm only 40 minutes into it, maybe. And I open a door, and the mood is just beautiful. The music is scary as all hell. Resident Evil was a great, scary video game to play back in the day. This blows it away. I open the door, and there's a fucking guy hanging by his legs, and even the music makes you jump. The music is like scary movie, horror movie music, and it's seriously, my dog was sitting on the couch next to me and just looked at me because I screamed out loud. And I went, oh shit.
So you scared the dog after being scared by the game.
So throughout the game, like I said, I played 40 minutes into it. I'm not kidding. It is a fucking scary game. And I'm very little into it, but that's my recommendation this week, especially if you have PlayStation Network. It's free. Download it. It's great. And, hey, maybe I can get farther along than a fucking Don't Starve game. God damn it, I'm starving.
Every 3 days, you starve to death. Great game.
Okay, so that goes into our top 5 of the week.
Top 5 of the week. Since we don't have any music we found yet for top 5, we'll just do top 5.
Flash!
All right. So, Jason, what's our top 5 this week?
It's the top 5 worst Best Picture winners at the Oscars. So the movies that won the Best Picture award, the worst ones. We're not just saying, they beat out this movie, so they're bad. I'm talking bad films. Now, with me, I did play somewhat into that. There was some films that, shouldn't have won. I didn't put them in. Just because...
They weren't necessarily bad, they just weren't the best of that year.
Correct. I'm talking bad films.
Okay, well, yeah. Most of mine are bad films. Like I said, I was picking, which ones shouldn't have won. I had to look at what they were in competition with.
Correct.
And, like I said, the ones I picked were bad, in my opinion, anyway. And so there are a couple that, and I'll start this off because I have to have a honorable mention.
I do too.
I have to have an honorable mention, and the only reason I have to say it is, and I couldn't put it on my list, is because it's a movie I didn't see.
Oh, wait a minute.
So I couldn't have put it on my list because I didn't see it.
And just for listeners, we don't go over these beforehand, the top 5. These are completely, we do it at our own houses.
Yeah.
That's it, and then we come here and talk about it, so go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, are you guessing what I'm going to say?
I'm guessing. Go ahead.
I didn't see it, but there was a movie that I loved so much that year that I really wanted it to win.
Okay, maybe not then.
Okay, I really wanted another movie to win. That when Braveheart won, I just and I haven't seen it. And of course, everybody's like, "How have you not seen Braveheart? It's one of the best movies ever." I'm like, "No, it can't be that good of a movie because one of my favorite movies of all time, Babe." was out that year.
Babe is really one of
my all-time favorites.
I thought, I've heard you talk about that movie. I thought you were kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Oh, wow.
I think it's like an almost perfect movie.
Wow.
I mean,
what about Babe 2?
No. No, that's one of the movies. Just don't watch the second one and enjoy the first one for what it is. You don't need to continue that storyline. And that's what made the movie so great is it was a complete story. And so I love Babe, and I was upset that Babe lost to Braveheart, that I, to this day, have still refused to watch Braveheart. Even though, my brother gave it to me on DVD as a birthday present.
Didn't he give it to you on VHS, too, and it was like six tapes worth?
No, I think I just got it on
DVD,
and still have yet to watch it because I'm just stubborn for that.
Wow.
But that was my honorable mention, but I couldn't say it's a bad movie because I haven't seen it.
Okay. My honorable mention, strap in on this one, kids. My God, do I hate this film. For many, many reasons. And I did eventually see it. So I will say it. I did get on Netflix.
Okay.
The fucking movie I hate is The Artist.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. I haven't seen The Artist, so I'm not going to... Many
reasons for this. Okay? One of them is it did beat out The Descendants, The Help, and Moneyball.
Yeah.
Now, you can make your case that Moneyball was good. It was a good movie. I mean, did it win Best Picture? I don't know. Descendants, I really liked.
Was it Best Picture? Maybe
I think that whole year was weak overall. If you're looking at the 9 or 10 that they nominated,
and that's one thing when I was going over the stuff. There were a lot of years where, oh my God, how did this not win? Then you see what they're up against, and you're like, that was a strong year. And then you see another year, like, how did that win? You see what it's up against, and you're like, that was a weak year. So some years will be strong, some will be weak.
And The Artist was in 2011, and the reason why I hate it so much is that it won Best Picture because I feel like the people making the choices, deciding this in the Academy were like, oh, look how revolutionary we are. We got a black and white film, a silent film, winning in 2011. Look at us, be exciting in that. And it's like, no, nobody fucking under 40 years old likes that movie, okay? I'm sorry.
I would say, well, I'll go watch it and prove you wrong, but I'm not under 40 years old.
See?
So.
Okay, sorry. No one under 70 likes that movie, okay?
Oh, come on. Most of the Academy is under 70 now.
Yeah. But that was part of it. And I didn't think it was that great of a film. I thought it was annoying. I thought, it wasn't because it's silent or anything. I can read subtitles. I have no problem with that. I have a problem with foreign films, even though it's not foreign. I love Run Lola Run, and that was all subtitles. But anyways, that movie is the bane of my existence of the last 3 years because of how much hatred I have for that movie.
Wow.
And a lot of it is just because it wasn't a good movie. And that's why I didn't put it on there. It wasn't a horrible movie like the other 5, but the Academy pissed me off so much because we start watching it that night, and I turned to my wife. Within the first 5 minutes, I turned to her. I said, "Artist is going to win." And I said, the reason is what I just said. Oh, look at us be so clever.
Cutting edge by putting
We had a silent film win in 2011. We don't need CGI. Fuck you. Yeah, you do.
Only the second silent film ever to win.
What was the first one?
The first one to ever win was Wings.
Oh, the TV show? I thought that it was...
No, not the TV show.
I was going to... Did that...
TV show's not even based on the movie.
Was TV show based on the movie?
No, 1929 was the first year. I think Wings came out in 27.
Oh, okay.
The first year, I think they had an over 2 years worth or a year and a half worth of movies. Or for the first 5 years, it was from this half a year to that half a year, and then I think after a while they just said, all right, it's going to be this calendar year to get rid of confusion.
Thomas Hayden Church looks really good for being that old.
Yeah, and he was in Sideways, which was nominated for a Best Picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was one of them, one of those weak years. I went, oh, Sideways was one of them that I don't know it's necessarily
I like
better
Sideways. I didn't think it was anywhere close to being...
Exactly.
Was Crumb ever involved?
No,
Not Crumb. What was the one that...
American Splendor.
American Splendor. Was that nominated? He was nominated for actor.
Yeah, I think Giamatti was nominated for actor, but I'm pretty sure that was not nominated.
That was a beautiful film.
I enjoyed it, yeah.
Okay, my number 5 is...
Number five.
1997 Best Picture winner, Titanic.
Okay, that was my number 3.
I'm hitting there. Trust me.
I'm sure probably 4 of these 5 will be overlaps.
And Titanic was so awful. When I first saw it, I was in high school, whatever, just getting out, whatever, and I didn't think it was that awful. I liked Leonardo DiCaprio. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that you would sell out like everybody says, he sold out for a chick flick, you know what? You would do the same thing. Get over it. And it's really...
honestly, when it's being made, you don't know exactly, it's going to be a chick flick. He signed on to do a movie that probably was going to be promising when it started, but then the direction that it went just irked me.
And there was a couple reasons. It was not a good film, even though it had Billy Zane, who was the Phantom. That would have been awesome if he was the Phantom in it.
Slam evil.
That's right. I forgot about that. But if you watch that movie, and there was a comedian that talked about this on a podcast, I apologize, I don't know which one it was. You can tell it was not a good film, or you can tell the writing was bad because of how many times they say their person's name. And the reason is the other person's name, and it's Jack and Rose.
Yes.
Jack is Leonardo, Rose is Kate Winslet, despite her getting naked. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, that was the good part of the movie.
If you watch it now, and this comedian ruined it for me, because every time it's on TV, I see it, I do count how many times they say, Jack, hey, Jack, or Rose, oh, Rose, come here, Rose. They say each other's names, I want to say 1,000 times each. It is ridiculous. And on top of that, it wasn't a good film.
Yeah, and on top of that.
But if you start looking at it, people are saying, well, you can tell the bad writing because in your everyday language, you do not say a person's name that much. Yeah. You don't say it. You say, hey, you, blah, blah, blah.
You just, what's going on? What are you doing? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. You don't
go, Jack.
Hey, Jason, how you doing today? Jason, what's your number 5? Jason, how's your list going?
God, that irks me. And the other reason why I hate it is James Cameron. What a douche.
Yeah.
Alleged douche.
No, I mean, like I said, I have Titanic a little farther up my list. And, honestly, I'll say visually stunning it is.
Yes.
And the scenes of the ship breaking apart and sinking are visually worth watching. But the melodrama that they have to throw around it for 2.5 hours is painful to sit through.
And James Cameron... this is a small thing along with the movie, but at the Academy Award when they won Best Picture, and he's like, I just want to have a silent, moment of silence for the victims. Okay, that was very nice, whatever. It's been 100 years. I'll give you whatever, what you want to do, that's fine. He gives him a silent thing, and he goes, okay, let's go get drunk and party tonight. What the hell is that? You can't
honestly,
do that.
I can't be angry at him with that. It's
but,
hey, we showed respect. As long as you pour a little out for the people when you're drinking.
This is for my homies.
For my homies from the Titanic.
I was so happy Catherine Bigelow beat him out in the Hurt Locker. Thank Christ.
Yeah, if Avatar won, that would be number 1 on my list.
Oh,
so I'm
Jesus.
glad that didn't
And there was people online bitching that Avatar didn't win. Did you see it?
It was an awful movie. Awful. There's that word again. Awful.
It does not. I've seen, I want to say 3/4 of the movie because I've come in parts on TBS, TNT, whatever the hell. And it's like, they're making 3 more sequels. Does anyone care?
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. No.
At least 2. I think they said 3.
Wow. Yeah, I saw the movie in 3D. And again, visually stunning. Mm-hmm. But, oh, my Lord, everything else was awful on Avatar. my point wasn't even to go off on Avatar on this podcast, but it just drove me crazy. The main villain was more two-dimensional than any comic book villain I've ever read. He was just so, here I am evil. Everything I do is because I'm evil. There is no good about me.
Correct.
My motives are pure to be evil. And I'm like, how can people call this a good movie when you can't even have a credible villain?
And if you're writing a bad guy in anything, make sure that he thinks what he's doing is right. Yes. Don't just have him do the evil laughter. Yeah, you see, you got me gumshoe. Okay, what's your number 5, Jeff?
My number 5 is Dances with Wolves.
Oh, what did that beat out? Wait, sorry. Titanic did beat out As Good as It Gets.
Oh, As Good as It Gets. The Full Monty.
Good Will Hunting. And LA Confidential.
Yes. Yeah, 4 other movies that I like a lot.
Yes.
All 4 of them I like.
Yeah.
And Titanic I hated. So it's like any one of them could have won, and I would have been okay with that.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
And that's the thing was Dances with Wolves didn't have a whole lot of competition.
Okay. But
it had one major movie, was Goodfellas.
Oh, that's right.
I'm trying to remember what else was against it, but the other. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Awakenings, Ghost, and The Godfather Part 3, and Goodfellas, and I didn't like Ghost. I never saw Awakenings, but I didn't actually hear good things about it.
Awakenings wasn't great. It shouldn't have been up for Best Picture.
And The Godfather Part 3 actually surprised me when I saw it because I didn't even think it was nominated.
It's the only Godfather not to win Best Picture.
Yeah, I was surprised it was even nominated, though, to be honest. But Goodfellas probably should have won that year. I mean, Dances with Wolves it went on forever, and I mean it's another one of the white guilt movies.
Yes.
A white man feels bad about how in the past this group, this time Native Americans, were treated, so now we have to show white man being good and being accepted to Native Americans so we can feel better about ourselves. And The
Last Samurai did it better.
Yeah, I don't know how much better.
I like The Last Samurai.
Oh well, it was there,
except for Tom Cruise,
and it wasn't a Best Picture winner.
Correct.
So I'm sorry, Dances with Wolves wasn't a complete awful movie, and that's why it's my number 5. But I mean, obviously there was
the Best Picture winners.
Yeah, there was at least one more movie that it was against that I could say was better.
What do you got for number 4?
Number 4, I think it was 1968's Oliver.
Oh, I almost put this on there. Yeah. I almost did.
Well, and I almost didn't put it on there because I looked what was against Oliver, and
there was nothing.
There was nothing. The biggest thing was movies that came out that same year that weren't even nominated.
What was that? What were those?
2001: A Space Odyssey.
That was not nominated?
It was not nominated. And Rosemary's Baby.
Wow. And you were talking about Rosemary's Baby, yeah.
I mean, both of those were up that same year, or were released that same year, but not nominated. And now I can't say Oliver necessarily wasn't worse than the other ones, and it would take me forever to re-find. I don't have those written down.
So was it I'll wait. I was going to talk about Chicago, but was it the musical that they have to win every 20 years?
Well, that was a time when musicals were winning all the time, but no, the biggest problem I had, Oliver as a kid, I thought I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as a kid, I suppose I did like it. And mainly it's because I liked the songs. I tried to watch it again a couple of years ago. I pulled it up on Netflix, and I'm like, I remember liking Oliver, and I know people complain about the movie. I'm going to watch it again. And, it was painful to sit through. I did like the songs. I'm not going to take that away from it.
Is that the one that goes, consider this?
Yeah,
okay.
Consider yourself.
Consider yourself. That's what it is.
And the food, glorious food.
If you know, as you get to know me, I know about 2 lyrics, 2 lines from every song, and then I just kind of mash them all together.
Okay, yeah. It beat out Funny Girl, The Lion in Winter, although I heard The Lion in Winter was good. Rachel, I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
And Romeo and Juliet, I remember we watched that adaptation in high school.
I did the same thing,
and I didn't like that, so I can't blame it. Funny Girl, I'm an anti-Streisand person.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So I'm like, okay, well,
unless it's Mecca Streisand.
Mecca Streisand.
We like Mecca,
but The Lion Winner may be better. I haven't seen it to judge, But the fact that it did beat out 2001 and Rosemary's Baby,
Just
who weren't
added
even
fuel to the fire.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that makes my list.
Number 4 for me is Crash.
Really?
Yes.
I know everybody puts that high in their list, but one. Okay, oh, go ahead. Why are you putting Crash?
Crash in 2005. It beat out Brokeback Mountain, Capote, Good Night and Good Luck, and Munich. Munich is a beautiful movie.
I haven't seen Munich. I
Beautiful
can't judge
movie.
that. I think I've seen the other ones though.
Capote, good film. I think it was only nominated because of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, his performance was great.
Correct.
And that's why it got the.
Good Night, Good Luck, good movie. Very well done. Brokeback Mountain, it was a good movie. I think we've talked about this off air, saying that I think it was nominated more just because it was the first openly accepted homosexual movie, love movie with homosexuals in it, that hit a nationwide audience.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been others before, don't get me wrong, but one that hit, the scene.
So we list those movies, and none of them I would say are bad movies.
Correct.
But none of them I think stand out as being a great movie. That's what gets me.
I think Munich. I will go with Munich. I'll go with Munich. Crash, though, the reason why I put that on there, not just because of the other films, but it is so over dramatic. Everybody in it is guest stars galore. And Don Cheadle, sometimes you just crash into somebody just to feel something. What the fuck? Shut up! Jesus Christ!
I actually liked that.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I mean, they're getting a little heavy-handed.
Yes.
But it's obvious.
And then
get the point of the title across by that. But
and Sandra Bullock's racist until something happens and she's helped, or isn't she the racist in it?
Well, she was trying not to be racist.
Correct, that's what it was.
And then she gets robbed at gunpoint
Yes.
by two black gentlemen, and she's like, now, and it's like, my instinct was to run the other way, but I didn't because I didn't want to be perceived as racist, and then this happens to us. I mean, I don't know, I liked it.
Oh, I thought it, and I liked it the first time I saw it, and then on repeat viewings, it's again, I keep watching, I'm like, this is not good. This is getting progressively worse, and it's one of those films, like my number one, that will age as it gets older. It does not age well.
And that's one thing I'm going to throw, a little a disclaimer out here is a lot of movies that won haven't aged well. And that's
Correct.
the big thing about the Academy Awards is it's what's happening at the moment.
Yes.
A lot of the earlier movies, obviously, well, I'm not going to say... Obviously, Oliver was out before I was born, and another one on my list is going to be
I think we're going to be agreeing on that one, whatever the next one.
But, I mean, a lot of the movies, just from the times they're in, are going to be different. So, looking back on them, there's going to be feelings one way or another.
Feelings. Yeah, I mean... you have to take the old movies, the 30s, 40s, with a grain of salt, because there wasn't as many films released. It was just starting to be.
Yeah,
the medium was starting to be built.
The medium was still young, and in my opinion, the acting was usually bad for the most part, based on what we've seen. Because a lot of these people are still coming from the days of stage acting, where everything's so over dramatized. And that stayed around for a while in film. The subtlety is lost in a lot of films before the 60s, probably. All right, so we already touched my number 3 because you put Titanic out there.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
So your number 3 will be...
The English Patient.
I've heard a lot bad about it. I never saw the movie, so I couldn't judge. That's why I didn't consider it for my list, but I can't say it's not bad.
There is nothing good about this film. And it was another one of those that people liked because, I'll give The Notebook more credit than this film. Wow. It's sappy, it's overdramatic. English Patient I equate to Out of Africa. And it's, the same type of... Oh, it's 6 hours long, and oh my God, it's a love story. And it's like, oh, remember the love stories that we used to write about back in the 1940s movies? Yeah, they were crap, okay?
Yeah. Out of Africa was actually one that I almost put on my list.
I did too, but English Patient, I hate it more.
Okay.
And I didn't want to put two of the similar.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I haven't seen Out of Africa. I've seen everything else that was against, but I'm like, I can't judge Out of Africa.
I saw Out of Africa, I think, when I was 10. My parents rented it, and I even was in tears.
Yeah, Like I said, with Out of Africa, well, a little side note here. It was against The Color Purple, Kiss of the Spider Woman, Prince's Honor, and Witness. And I liked all 4 of those movies.
I liked Witness a lot. Kelly McGillis, she gets naked.
Yeah, it's probably the highlight of Kelly McGillis' career.
Let me go. That's her. Color Purple was good. Except Oprah was in it. Ugh.
Yeah, but it was the best thing Oprah's done in her life.
That's true. Next to Stedman.
And honestly, Prince's Honor I thought was a great movie. I don't know if you've
I don't think I've ever seen that.
That was a good one.
It is funny looking back, and I know we're going tangents here, but with Best Picture, see, it is about an Oscar prequel. Look at that. It is funny to see the Best Pictures and see which ones are on cable a lot lately. Not lately, I'm sorry, but like are replayed on TV a lot, and which ones aren't. Out of Africa never was on TV.
Are the Best Pictures usually? It's...
Crash is on a lot.
Oh, is it?
Crash is on a lot. Titanic's on a lot.
Oh, yeah, they do show Titanic a lot.
You know, my number one's on every fucking week. So anyways, English Patient, it won in 1996 over Fargo. Good movie. Especially when he's putting the foot in the grind.
Yeah, that year, I think Fargo might have been my favorite movie of that
Jerry
year.
Maguire.
Didn't like that one.
I liked it. I think that's another one. If it did win, I think you would be looking back and saying, "Oh, why did that win?"
If that won, it would probably be on my list.
Yeah.
And
I like it as a film. You know, it's good. It is what it is. I think it's very, Tom Cruise chews the scenery wholeheartedly. Cuba Gooding Jr. chews the scenery.
Yeah. And Renee Zellweger ant-eats her way through the scenery.
Yes, thank you, Family Guy. When they portray her as an ant-eater. Yes. And then Secrets and Lies, which was decent.
I haven't seen Secrets and Lies.
And Shine. I forgot all about Shine.
Yeah, and again, that's one I haven't seen either.
I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing of that.
Okay,
I've seen bits and pieces.
From what I hear, it's great, and Jeffrey Rush is great. And it's a Jeffrey Rush movie.
Yeah.
And I hear great things about it, so, I'll throw thumbs up to it just on base what I hear, but I haven't seen it, so I can't compare.
So The English Patient is number 3 because, like I said, I just think it was so overdrawn. It was long, boring, tedious. It's one thing to have a good love story. It's another thing to draw it out for decades. So there's my number 3.
And of course, there was the subplot on Seinfeld when they did The English Patient.
Yes.
Where... Elaine saw it and hated the movie, but
and
her
everyone
boss
else
loved it. And so she, instead of saying she hated it, just say, I didn't see it. So he made her go see it again.
And that's what I felt like when she put her hand over her head. Yeah. And then Peterman's like, isn't this beautiful? Isn't this great? Oh. What's your number 2?
Yeah, I have a feeling our number 1s and number 2s are the same, just swapped.
Okay.
My number 2 is Forrest Gump.
Ah, that's my number 1.
Yeah, I put Forrest Gump on number 2.
Before we even get to my number 2, we're going to have the same exact things here. Your number 2 is Forrest Gump. That's my number 1.
Yes. All right. All
right.
We'll go with Forrest Gump. Obviously, the biggest thing is what it beat out.
Oh, yes.
It beat out 4 Weddings and a Funeral, which was just okay.
Yes. But the next 3 films might be some of the strongest Best Picture nominees.
Yes, it beat out Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
Which, is a voice of its generation.
Bring out the Gimp.
It beat out Quiz Show, which was a good movie and highly underrated.
Yes, beautiful. It was a really well done film.
Yes.
That was great.
And it beat out Shawshank Redemption.
My number 1 film of all time.
And I mean, the biggest thing with, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier about a product of its time, the simple fact of the matter was Shawshank didn't get any traction.
Correct.
Until after
it bombed pretty good, didn't it?
I don't know exactly what it did.
I thought it said 11 million is what it made.
Okay.
Now, mind you, it's a different time period, but still.
But it didn't do great in the box office and didn't really have a big push even at Oscar time. I mean, I'm actually a little surprised it was nominated. I figured something like that, the way it got overlooked, I thought it was completely overlooked. But at least the nomination committee found it worth putting in there.
Why do you hate Forrest Gump so much?
Oh, you're just rewriting American history to tie in through the
sequel. The book sequel might be even worse.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
He's in Desert Storm.
Oh. Seriously?
Yes. He's in Desert Storm. I forget what else he goes through. I can't even remember it all, but it's, oh my goodness, it's awful. It's just, I thought Forrest Gump, it was okay the first time I saw it. What's the one comedian's joke? Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Yes, you do. It's fucking chocolate.
Then they got a map written on the lid. I think you pretty much know what you're going to get.
I thought that movie was just, and again, that's it was number one on my list because it might be it is the film that does not age at all for me. It does not age well at all.
Yeah, no. I mean, and like I said, the first time I saw it, I was amused by it. Honestly, it had a good soundtrack.
Yes, it did.
So it's like that kind of helped you get into the movie, and you saw it. But yeah, like I said, under second viewing, you're like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah, Haley Joel Osment is in it.
Yes, he plays Forrest Jr.
Who plays Jenny? Jedi.
That's played by Robin Wright.
That's who it was.
I think Robin Wright Penn at the time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was my number one. I cannot stand that film anymore. I mean, I see it for 10 minutes on TV, and I just want to put my foot through the TV.
Yeah, and even Tom Hanks winning, his performance as Forrest Gump wasn't that good.
No.
And I mean, he's been great in a lot of movies. And
Philadelphia.
Yeah, and which he won
93
the year before then.
Was Philadelphia up for Best Picture?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he was. And he did a great job in that. And that's why he won Best Actor.
Yeah, and even like the following year, he was in Apollo 11 or Apollo 13, which I thought he was great in that. He didn't get nominated because everyone thought, oh, there's a chance he'll get nominated and be a 3-time winner. And it's like, yeah, still Forrest Gump is off.
And on the opposite end, Apollo 13 is one of the films I did not like the first time I saw. And as I've gotten older, I really like that film.
That one, I think, it gets better with age, too.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
And here's the question. So Shawshank, it lost to Forrest Gump. Question is, would you rather be the guy in charge of the movie that won Best Picture and now is hated, or just said, or would you rather be the guy that did Shawshank and it's gained so much traction in the future, from then on out?
Well, all the money that Robert Zemeckis would have got from Forrest Gump would probably alleviate being a hated movie.
Shawshank has gone hog wild on DVD.
And I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know exactly how much the directors make from that. And that was I'm trying to remember his name.
It was Frank Darabont.
Yeah, it's exactly the money Frank Darabont made from Shawshank. I think would probably still pale in comparison to what Zemeckis got from Forrest Gump, but. Other than the payday, I'd rather have the lasting movie that...
The legacy.
The legacy than have the movie that might have shined real bright and then...
Shakespeare in Love.
Which did not make our list.
It did not I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was good.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as a lot of people threw at, and I honestly wasn't a big fan of the other movies it was against.
And that's the thing. Saving Private Ryan was...
That was the year Saving Private Ryan.
And I'm not a big war movie fan at all.
Yeah.
War, not Gwar.
Yeah, he's a big war fan.
Oh, yeah.
Just not a big war fan.
It was a good film, Saving Private Ryan. I didn't have any horses in the race that year. Like Shawshank, I loved. I was like, oh, I can't believe that lost. Even Quiz Show or whatnot. But with Saving Private Ryan, I was like, I was ecstatic just because I went to bed before they did the Best Picture because I was like, oh, Saving Private Ryan's got it because that's all they've been talking about. I woke up the next morning, was going driving, and I heard on the radio that Shakespeare in Love go, what the hell? Thank you, Weinstein Marketing.
Yeah, and that's I was looking at lists or whatever where other people were giving theirs, and a lot of the reasons a lot of these movies won was the Weinstein Marketing.
Yep.
Shakespeare in Love was one. Was he involved with The English Patient?
I'm not sure if he was. I'm not sure.
There were some of it. It's like, well, Weinstein marketed that.
He may have been.
I think he did. I know a lot of people didn't like Chicago, and I think
he was in Chicago.
He marketed Chicago.
So my number 2,
which was, assuming my number 1,
is going to be Jeff's number 1, and I think we watched this together, right?
Probably.
I think we previewed it when you worked at the theater.
Yes.
The greatest show on earth.
I still want to sue them for
false
advertising because it is anything but the greatest show on earth.
It is a 3-hour infomercial on the circus.
And they had Jimmy Stewart, one of the era's best actors, dressed up in clown makeup the whole
Yes.
time because he's hiding from the mob or something,
Yes.
or the police.
So
or
it was like
both.
Sister Act, but in the circus.
And it was anything but the greatest show on earth.
Maybe
I think we even already argued about it in a podcast.
We
before.
did talk about it, but it is not a good film.
No.
It beat out High Noon in 1952.
Yeah.
Which was a good film.
Yes,
and,
High Noon was a good film.
And the reason why High Noon was so good is I remember watching that in college in a film class is because it was one of the first Westerns that was gritty. It wasn't like, hey, I'm going to meet you at the OK Corral and we'll do a draw, you know. It was gritty. It was, you know, kind of gruesome for the time.
Yeah.
And I like Westerns a lot. That's one of my favorite genres next to sci-fi and comic books and that. But so that beat out High Noon. It beat out Moulin Rouge.
Apparently not the Moulin Rouge from the 90s.
Which is what I love that movie.
Yeah, that one I never saw.
You never saw Moulin Rouge in the 90s?
I never had a desire to see it.
I even got the soundtrack. Say that way you will, but just calm down, people. Ivanhoe. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I haven't seen Ivanhoe. I know it's well regarded.
And The Quiet Man, which I saw in college as well in that film class. And that was a good film, too.
Yeah.
So,
and that was actually a John Wayne film that didn't suck.
Yes. He didn't play, who was it? Genghis Khan. Okay, here's the studio's props, guys. Okay. I got an idea. We're going to a Genghis Khan film. Well, okay, that's fine. Who do you got playing it? You know, anybody, you know, you think? John Wayne. I'm sorry, excuse me?
Excuse me, wait a minute. We're getting the whitest of the white
The American hero?
Yeah, to play the Mongolian warlord?
Wait. Is he the good guy that beats Genghis Khan? No. He is Genghis Khan. You know what? Here's the money. Go make it.
Great idea.
So, yes, the greatest show on earth. It was... It
was
seriously,
anything but the greatest show on earth.
It seriously is an infomercial for the circus. And that's not a good sign. Nobody wants to be in the circus.
Yeah.
Look what happened to the Graysons.
All right.
So, that brings us to another episode. Thank you for listening. Again, we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast. So take a listen, or kind of tweet us, and like I said, we have questions during the week. I'm pretty much become a Twitter whore, so if you're on there, we have some good chats and everything. So there you go. And the bad idea of the week,
number 35.
Taking a drink from a stranger, and that's a public service announcement too.
Yeah, that's not just a bad idea from movies.
Yes.
That's a bad idea in real life.
Yes. So this actually extends beyond TV and movies. So please do not take, as evident by the latest headlines of a former NFL player.
Oh, yes.
Please do not take drinks from strangers. And in every movie, especially scary movies, what happens? The girl takes a drink. She wakes up in
whatever bad position.
Yes. She's in
shackles.
What's the Eli Roth films that we talked about? Hostel.
Oh, Hostel. Yeah.
Hostel. You know?
Oh, we're having a good time. You got me a drink. The next thing I know, I'm chained up getting my legs sliced in half.
Bam, you're dead. So there you go. That's it. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.